you. Nice to see you too, Fab. One of the problems Fab and I have is we are so busy throughout the week and I try to keep up with her, and you know how fast that pace is. And it means we don't have time to catch up. So, and we really do struggle with sharing all the amazing stuff that comes into our head on a weekly basis from working with businesses like yourselves. We're so fortunate that we're right at the grassroots and able to hear the things that are pain points for you, or the solutions that you're using, or things we're guiding you on. And it's just really good gold stuff that we want to share, and we need to chat to each other about it. So we went, damn it, we'll chat together. So if you would like to join into the conversation, please do. But we thought what we'd do, so it's the stuff that's top of mind for us, things that really stood out in terms of opportunities for businesses.
And boy, it's
And
been a big week with opportunities for tourism businesses.
so one of the really cool things is Fab's going to do a live demo of creating an itinerary using the new Chat 4.0. So she'll do that. So stay tuned for that. That's very, very cool. I was going to kick off though by sharing some of the really great key things that came out of the series that we ran, the webinar, the quick win webinar on accessibility must-haves, and then the live training session yesterday. And then also have a chat about the tick and the talk of tourism and what came out of a workshop that
That was
we delivered during the
really
week.
interesting. Yeah, that really caught my attention. Do you want to share that one first, Liz?
Yeah,
The tick
so
and the talk.
yeah, the tick and the talk. Well, the TikTok, like it's really top of mind for tourism operators. Should I be on TikTok? I'm doing my best at trying to show up on Instagram and Facebook regularly. Do I need to be on TikTok as well? Well, first of all, it's growing so quickly. It's crazy in terms of the user base. And yes, we've got, vast majority are under 28 years of age, the users on TikTok. But it's the first time we've had such a young audience, because it goes right down to, like 11 years of age. And so you think about the influence that kids have on their parents' decisions on what to do. So we do have to say, what do do I want to miss out on this market? So you've really got to explore it and have a look. Now, one of the things to bear in mind, this is the biggest opportunity, I think, because it's at that beginning level, is for businesses to take ownership of the brand presence of their region on TikTok. You go and have a look at a region on TikTok, do search for the hashtag that should be being used, or just search on the area. And even if you just spend 5 minutes a day having a look around to see what's on there, you'll see that often there's not much there in a tourism sense, especially for emerging regional destinations. Now, the thing is that LGAs, local government associations, councils, often are the custodians of destination marketing in small regions. They're not allowed to be on TikTok, right? All levels of government have said none of our devices can be on TikTok, because there's just they're just nervous about the lack of regulation and security and linkage to Chinese ownership, etc. So they just don't want to be there. However, this is the opportunity for tourism operators to get on there, use your hashtag, and get the positive stories about what you can do in your region. Remember, with, live video, which is what TikTok is, you keep it very real. You start with a really nice hook. You give them enough great information to keep them interested, and then you give them the reward. So what's that awesome little piece of information that they need, or that thing that they can do? So, and try to do it within 15 seconds. Keep
And
it really short, keep it real.
I was talking to an operator this week. I'm like, oh, you really need to do TikTok. We started on TikTok. And she's like, oh, but I'm not really good in front of the camera. But what I did, Liz, is I told her, if you do CapCut, you don't actually need makeup on. And you should have seen her face lit up. It was like, oh, wow, I don't actually have to get prepared, do my makeup for half an hour and rehearse my text to do TikTok. No, absolutely not. You can just record yourself, then press the button, do your eyebrows, anything, and even shrink your face to make you look slimmer if that's you want. But it's
That's
just go, make it happen. And I was recommending her, like the quirky stories that they share with they do a semi-hosted, well, they used to do a semi-hosted welcome as an accommodation business. So I just said, just go up there, share some awesome tips about what there is to do, where the best coffee shops are, and you don't even, if you don't want to, you don't actually have to show your face, but if you want to, you're going to look great because you can use those makeup tips on CapCut.
And a quick edit in CapCut, if she's using CapCut, a quick edit to splice in a few photos of those places, awesome, you know,
And
and
you
you can
can,
do that in 15, 30 seconds, amazing.
and then we were talking
So
about how you can put that information on a blog post. You know, lots of people, I prefer reading, but lots of people prefer video. So if you do your video, you upload it even to YouTube Live, embed it at the top of your blog post, and you've hit three birds with one stone. You get, you know, the audio, the visual, and the text for the other people.
absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And that's what I was saying to the people in the workshop is I don't, you know, this shouldn't be taking you more time. If you're not repurposing content, then there's a time saver for you immediately because you make that for TikTok, then use it as an Instagram story or as a reel. That would be fantastic. So yeah, I'm really shifting in my view on TikTok. I'm seeing the opportunity is there for regional areas to really play a role and and it's easy. Like no one wants the really polished video content anyway on socials. We're past it. We
They
don't
want
want
you. They want to see your
they want
stories. You're in
you or they
tourism.
want something you've made, you know, and it doesn't, and the good thing is it makes it kind of look good anyway, the way that these tools work. The other thing I wanted to share before we get to your amazing demonstration of the new Chat 4.0 is about the accessibility webinar and the live training session. I thought it was great in the webinar. So that was Thursday a week ago, and our lovely Claire delivered that, and I was her wing woman. But we ran a poll, and I was really interested to see if the people in the room. Now, remember, these are people who recognise how important the accessibility market is and are already starting to move towards delivering some services for the accessible marketplace in tourism. What we found out was that 77% of the people in the room, they were offering some kind of accessible services. However, of the people in the room, only 39% felt that they were communicating clearly on their websites about what they offer. But of the people in the webinar, 52% said they were planning to improve their communications. And that's awesome because just like in any relationship, communication is the most important thing. So the relationship with your customer. And even if you're not fully accessible, it doesn't matter. Tell them what you can offer. And you tell them what you might be planning to offer, or tell them what the workarounds are. And so at the end, by working through that webinar about what the must-haves are and the what you can do, then in the training session we really got into the nitty-gritty about how to do it. And I did a sum up yesterday at the end of that training session about kind of where to start. And I really think the number one thing here is your accessible web page. So we know the website, and I know Fab will absolutely agree with this, that your website is your number one marketing asset. It's your hub of
Interesting, Liz. You
information.
know, we with a client, we went live a few weeks ago with the accessibility page, and because there's not much content on, let's say tours for people with mobility issues or anything that you
Mm.
search online, that page came up, and they've had two or three inquiries already just from that page. So you might think you don't have much to offer, but you might have something, and just putting that content, creating that content on that page will make you actually show up for searches that otherwise you wouldn't. So it's really totally important. And we'll see if ChatGPT 4 also picks it up. I'm not going to do a live test, but I'll practice for a while. And then I guess I'll let
Yeah,
you know next week how that goes. But you
yeah,
definitely need
totally.
that content. And the other important thing we saw on accessibility, and I'm sure Claire mentioned it, but was really having some photos, of people enjoying themselves who have accessibility issues. It might bit hard to convince some people, but if it's about, asking them for feedback about your page, and potentially they might want to come and experience it with you,
Hmm.
you need photos. It's just as
Yeah.
important as text. Yeah.
Photos, yeah. And we saw some really good examples where you've got infrastructure like accommodation or a boat or something like that. Having photos with measurements on them so people can actually see exactly whether their equipment is going to fit and work. And sharing the FAQs, your frequently asked questions, are so important on your
Mm.
website. Once again, really good for search engine optimization to have that depth of content on there. So, starting by creating an accessibility page that's easily able to be found on your website through your menu, having the FAQs on there. And we looked at a number of things, but I thought that's definitely where to start because that gives you your hub of information. And the other thing that's really easy to implement is on your social media and on your images, of course, on your website as well, is the alt text, is making sure that's there. And we looked at the different ways on Instagram and Facebook and Meta Business Suite, where it is the alt text is created automatically. It is on Meta Business Suite and will therefore then go to Instagram and Facebook. However, you've got to go and check it because sometimes it's just kind of a bit rubbishy. So you've got to go and check
Yeah.
that. The other thing is your hashtags, is to use what we call camel case hashtags. So a capital at the beginning of each word that makes up the hashtag. Visually, that's much easier to interpret. It's just good for people who have got full vision as well. Like it's much easier to
Mm.
read a hashtag. And if you have a look at what Tourism Australia does on their Instagram account, the Australia account, really good best practice there. They have an ID, an image description that sits underneath the caption. So for people who are vision impaired and using a screen reader over Instagram or Facebook, whatever device they're on, it will tell them what the image is. So, but your
So where
alt
do we
text.
find more about that? Because you keep mentioning that we've had the webinar and we've had the training session. They've all been recorded, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So go to the events if you would like to watch the free quick win webinar because some of these things they're absolutely mentioned. So this tells you the what. So, we do a quick win webinar every month where we share this, really good kind of tips and advice. And so if you go to the events page, so tourismtribe.com/events, you can get it there, even though it's past, go down to the past webinars. Everyone who is a Digital Academy member on Tourism Tribe, you have access to the accessible
Training session.
tourism course,
Yeah.
and will have in it this video, the recording of the video. But Claire updated the course in the preparation of the workshop that she ran yesterday, so it's all really nicely updated. And of course, you can purchase, if you're not a Digital Academy member, you can purchase that for $49, I think we've got on it, like we do that kind of price for most of those individual courses. So it's all there and it's all nice and practical.
Yeah, we often
So
get questions when people register, oh, I'm going to miss it. And if you look at any of our pages, everything's been designed so you don't actually have to be right there at that very minute. All our resources are all self-paced. So if you miss it, you can always access it or purchase it later as well. Right.
So, Fab, you had an exciting time this week getting to know your new assistant, ChatGPT 4.0. So, tell us about the release of 4.0, would you,
I
compared
still don't know
to
how
the paid
it's
version
called. They
before?
call it 4O, but it's actually a letter O and for Omni. But basically, if you have been paying the 20 odd US dollars a month for ChatGPT 4, you've automatically been upgraded to 4O or Omni. If you were using the free 3.5 version, you've automatically been updated to the 4, which is like 100 times better than the 3.5. But I get really excited about ChatGPT for formulas and coding and things. But now you can actually talk to it. As if, let's say you were getting telemarketing calls, like that's how they've been promoting it, right? You're getting telemarketing calls, you can just turn on ChatGPT and can have a full conversation with a telemarketer. but that's not what I'm using it for. I wanted to see, so I live in Agnes Water 1770 and I'm involved in my local tourism organisation, as you should be, every tourism operator listening to us, because together we're much stronger. But what I did, I was giving it a practice run and talking to ChatGPT. So I've actually got my iPad there because I can't do it on my phone when I'm recording. I don't know if you can see, but there's a little
Yeah.
um, headphone
Yeah, I can.
device there. So
Yeah.
I'm going to press that live and give you a live demo talking to ChatGPT, asking it, her, him, to know what there is to do in Agnes Water this afternoon where I live. And then we're going to see if it's actually real and true or if it got wrong information. So, ready?
Ready.
Hey, you there, chat?
Yes, I'm here. What can I help you with?
Oh, great. I'm in Agnes Water 1770 in Queensland. I've just arrived and the weather's beautiful. I'm trying to see what I could be doing this afternoon. You got any recommendations?
That sounds amazing. Here are a few suggestions for things to do this afternoon in Agnes Water in 1770. 1. Kayak tour. Take a sunset kayak tour with 1770 Liquid Adventures. You'll explore the coastline, spot wildlife like dolphins and turtles, and enjoy a beautiful sunset over the water. 2. Paperbark Forest Walk. Head over to the Paperbark Forest Boardwalk. It's a short, enchanting 400-meter walk through towering paperbark trees, perfect for nature lovers and photographers. 3. Visit Cook's Monument. Explore Cook's Monument and take a walk along the headland to Round Hill Head. It's a lovely spot for a leisurely stroll with beautiful coastal views. 4. Relax with fresh seafood. Grab some fresh fish and chips from the Rusty Pelican. You can enjoy your meal at 1770 Headland or Endeavor Park for a relaxing afternoon by the water. 5. Explore the 1770 Marina. Visit the 1770 Marina, where you can book various water activities or just enjoy the serene views of the boats and the water. 6. Local cafe. Stop by the 1770 Getaway Garden Cafe for some delicious coffee and cake in a beautiful garden setting. Each of these activities offers a unique way to enjoy the natural beauty and laid-back vibe of the area.
Hey, thanks. I've noticed there was quite a few. Well, actually, you were spot on, but there was a few that were not in existence or currently shut, like the paperbark walk. Can you tell me your sources that you used for this itinerary that you just designed for me?
I pulled the suggestions from a few different sources to provide a well-rounded list of activities. 1. Queensland.com provided information on popular activities and attractions in the area, like the Sunset Kayak Tour and visiting Cook's Monument. 2. Little Gray Box highlighted the enchanting paperbark forest walk and other nature-based activities. 3. The Vanabon Tales gave insights into local favorites like the Rusty Pelican for fresh seafood and other unique experiences in the area. I hope this helps. If any of these places are currently closed, I apologize for the inconvenience. Enjoy your time in Agnes Water and 1770.
Thanks, chat. So wasn't that amazing? What was really interesting is I told it that I was there now, and I knew because I've done some tests before that the paperbark walk's currently closed. And I wanted to know where it got the information. So even though it got an itinerary, information, it was missing that now component. And I went and thought, where is it checking that it's currently open or closed? I don't think that walks on Google, so it couldn't have been Google Business Profile, but it's a really good start. What that means, though, for DMOs is you really need to be aware of this. If you can't get it on TikTok, I'm sure you can get on ChatGPT and verify the quality of the information that's out there because more and more people are going to use this. So isn't that amazing? I
I,
actually
I,
asked it for.
I was just going to say, I
Sorry.
can just see in one foul swoop with the release of this product, and I haven't had a play with it yet. You were saying it's got it's basically it's sort of replacing Siri. It's doing a better
replacing.
job in terms of the search and reporting back, because often Siri will just give you back the links on your phone. It's not, so it's already better than that. And also it's replacing augmented reality development. You were saying, Fab, about how you can just point your phone with ChatGPT at anything,
I haven't
and
practiced that one. It hasn't
and
rolled
it
out to mine yet. So that will be
yes,
next
but
week.
that's going to be the next thing. So forget about augmented reality. If you didn't get on that boat and get that done for all of your beautiful architecture in your town or historical monuments or whatever, don't even worry about it anymore, because people will be armed just doing it themselves.
Mm.
And chat will be pulling the content like you just saw in that demonstration with Fab. So
So
it's
it's like
just
your visitor
let.
center in your pocket. It's more, it will be, I guess, given another few months, it will be more than, just voice, I guess, search results being read to you. It'll be really interesting to see what Google comes up with, because I've tested their tool a while back. It wasn't anywhere near as good. Yeah, but give it a crack. If you have got the paid version of ChatGPT, you will get the Chat 4.0. It looks like an O. If you don't pay the $20 a month, maybe US, maybe you want to try, but use it as a user and see how it will change your user's experience or your visitor's experience, and particularly for DMOs and visitor centres.
So we probably need to wrap it up and go and do some more work on Friday before the day's over.
Before
Still got
ATE
stuff on my
next week, who
list.
is going to
Uh,
ATE?
yes.
Me.
Any of you going to ATE who are on, we'll be there. I've told Fab to wear her comfy shoes. This is her first ATE. That's
Booth
exciting.
number
Um,
6, come and see us.
yeah, yeah. We've got some bookings with tourism operators and DMOs in our schedule, which is great. And then we know people are just going to be floating past, so that'll be really good. But just sort of tidying up, I suppose, from our conversation here, what have we covered? We've talked about the opportunity on TikTok. If I could give you homework, if you're not already aware of the content that's in there about your region on TikTok, spend 5 minutes a day searching, getting familiar, have a look. I'm sure that you'll see the huge opportunity that I can see for regional destinations to be able to paint a really, a genuine and positive story about the things people can do on
And
TikTok.
really
Um,
understand that the councils can't be on there. So but
they can't
maybe
be on
your
there.
tourism organisation, yeah, that's right. So
So
there's an opportunity to work together.
collaborate. Yeah, 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 yeah. And then go to, move to that thought of, I've made this for TikTok. You're getting use it as a reel on Instagram as well. You could pop it into Chat GPT and say, put the caption up there, put the video up there and say, write me a blog
Oh,
post about
yeah,
this.
we do that
And
all the time.
yeah, yeah. So
And
they've got a blog
media
post to
release,
start
blog post,
drafting.
whatever
Hmm.
you've done, think about
Yeah.
that.
And we talked about accessibility and where to start to improve your communications with the accessible market. So even if you don't have everything to suit people with accessible needs, tell them what you do have on a web page with frequently asked questions, and make your images, ensure that they've got alt text, and also turn on captions, closed captions for your videos. These are things you can start doing straight away. And then Fab, amazing news with Chat 4.0 for Omni. And
Yeah.
its voice and speech
Itinerary
stuff is
creation.
incredible.
Mm.
Itinerary creation, when the
I don't know if
augmented
you can
reality
see it,
piece
but it
is rolled
actually
out.
wrote it all down for me as well. So there's your blog post for what there is to do in your region, and strike out the ones that are wrong. Create your blog post, put it in your autoresponder, day -3 people arriving, what there is to do in your region, and bang.
Mhm. Debbie Tool, what do you mean by I lost the registration? The registration to
Maybe to
what?
ATE, she was saying she wanted to go.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah.
Next
All
year.
right. Well, hopefully you liked the Liz and Fabi Friday show.
Top of
Actually, it's just our normal catch
mind
ups.
was what was
Top
top
of
of mind.
mind catch up.
Yeah,
Instead of
yeah.
talking to each other via text message or on Slack, we're talking to you. We're recording ourselves. We'll create a blog post, leverage online. And I'm going to go back to my automations now.
Yeah, I've got some stuff to do too. So
See you on
have a great
Sunday,
afternoon.
Liz.
See
See
you
you
on
every.
Sunday in Melbourne at the airport. See you guys. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Talk
See
soon.
ya.
Bye. Bye.